All right, so before the video starts, I thought I'd give you a little precursor of what's going on here. Putting together 996 engine. This is the early version up to 2001. 2002 is different. To 2000, basically 2004, 2005. Now, when we took this engine apart, we stacked everything together. Everything is separated one side at a time. Somebody had the wrong cams in the wrong side. Somebody's had it apart before, and we caught on to this when we were trying to time it and figured out there's a couple things wrong with that. One is our cams were not lining up to the video. It was like everything was ass backwards, and it was. They had the right cam caps, the right head, the right everything on each side, except the camshafts were flipped. Bank 1 to bank 4. Bank 1 to 3 and bank 4 to 6. And we figured out that was the case because the cams are marked, as shown in the video here, which bank to go on. How it ever ran before, I don't know. Like I said, we only backed it off the trailer. We didn't actually drive it. It may not have drove. It may have had no power. It did have enough power to pull off and on the car hauler. And that's all we did with it. So hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope to save somebody from going through the same thing. And beware, the other video on YouTube is not correct on the timing on this. This came from the factory Porsche manual. And hope you enjoy. Hope it helps you guys out. Enjoy the video. All right, guys. So here we are with the 996 engine. This is a pre-2002, so it goes up to 2001 for this one. This has the more simplistic timing advance system on it. It does not have the variable valve timing gear on it. And I'm going to show you how to time this. Now, there's been a lot of issues with this. A lot of people putting stuff out there that is not correct. And the only video up on YouTube, I forgot what the guy's name was, but he was doing some funky stuff, and that's not how you time this. So we start off, very first thing we do is take our pin. We drop our pin at top dead center, the hole up here. We're going to time bank 1 through 3, which is on the driver's side of the car. Standing from the back, it's going to be your left. So it depends on where you live at. If you have right-hand drive or whatever, it's going to be in the left driver's side of the car. So at that point in time, this side is in time. We have the lobes are pointed up on the exhaust cam. They're pointed towards the center on the intake cam. And then there'll be a little dot on top of the chain right here, a little dot on top of the chain right there. And then at that point in time, you can go through and drop the timing block on it. And that goes like so. And then locks in. The little spade goes right into the back of the cam. And this little other deal touches the back of the cam. There you go. And it screws in place. So if you're watching this video, chances are you already know all this. You're just trying to figure out how in the hell to set the timing marks on it, right? So there is that. Okay, so you're gonna drop the timing blocks on it. You're gonna put your little holder in, obviously, because all the cam journals are made into the valve cover. This holds the cam. We're gonna start with the bolts will be loose on here, but in. And Bonnie, go and put it on there just to show them. As we turn it over, it may not go in there easily. Okay. And you're gonna want this to barely touch the back of the cam like so. And you tighten that up, it'll push it in, just like that. Now you might take a 24 mil wrench and turn the cams to get that to all line up. This one's already been done, so it drops right in. At that point in time, I would go ahead and torque all these bolts. They're what, 9.5 foot-pounds-ish. We set them all at 10, and now you're ready to time it. Now, the next thing you want to do is drop in the tensioner. The tensioner is going to pivot this. So on the driver's side, you're going to clock everything to the left-hand side on the slots. So as you put the tensioner in, it's going to clock it back to the right. You just don't want to run out of slot on your cam gear. Put the tensioner in, tighten your bolts up for right now. They're about 10 foot-pounds also. Go ahead and tighten those up. This side is timed. Now, where it gets weird, this is the issue. Go ahead and pull your pin out. You had your pin in here at the top dead, like so. You're gonna pull it out. You're gonna turn the crank over 360 degrees. So one full turn, and then put the pin back in. So we're timing the banks 1 to 3 on the compression stroke at top dead. We're timing bank 4 to 6 on the exhaust stroke at top dead center. So once that's in there, you do the same procedure on this one, the same exact thing. You use a timing tensioner, the very last to put in, it pivots the gear. Now on this gear on 1 to 3, you clock it to the left on the slots. Over here on 4 to 6, you swing it to the right, because when you put the tensioner in, it's gonna pivot the gear, right? Then you lock it in. They only give you one of these tools in the kit. One, probably for a good reason at this point. You can't use them both at once. Yeah. If they gave you 2, everybody would try and do it all wrong. So there is that. Also, when we got this kit, this was in here backwards. We had to take the set screw out, flip it around. Beware of that. Don't freak out if your kit's not right. So there's that. Then what you got to do after all this is set up, you take this out. You got to turn it 3 full revolutions. Stop back on top dead center. What you're going to end up with is your slots on your exhaust gear should be exactly parallel to the head. All right. Your slots on the exhaust gear on this side should be exactly parallel to the head, like it is right there. Now, when you set this timing up on this one, if you don't understand or you don't know, all the lobes should be pointed towards each other, right? Should be pointed in on this side. As you can see right now, they're pointed away from each other, down here and up there. That's because we timed this 180 degree, or basically on the exhaust stroke, it's that compression stroke. So after you turn over 3 revolutions, instead of pointing it, these would be pointing in where you set them, they're gonna be pointing out, obviously, right? This way and this way. And that's how you know you got her timed. So hopefully that made sense. It is a very difficult thing to show on video, how to time it. So we elected to struggle and fight through it all and then turn the camera on at the very end and do this. And hope it helps somebody out. What we're gonna do right now is we're gonna pull these blocks off. We're going to reinstall the valve covers, but not the green plugs that go in the end. Once the valve cover is reinstalled, since we have this thing on the engine stand, since the starter is still on the engine, we're going to take it off the engine stand. We're going to slip in the flywheel. If you have an automatic car, you can probably put the flex plate right in there without much problem. This is a manual car, so it's real thick. You gotta take it off the engine stand, put the flywheel on it. That'll allow us to jump power to the starter. That'll allow us to crank the engine with the starter and compression check this whole engine before we put it in. Because remember, once you put the engine back in the car, you can't retime it with it in the car, right? I don't know who wants to be taking this thing in and out of the car a bunch, but let me tell you what, not me. So hopefully this helps, guys. I'm back very soon with another video.